Et hop, et hop, 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 bonjour YouTube. Comment vas-tu en cette journée? Ah, oh, on me voit, mais en vrai, je décède. Ça, on me voit pas, je suis dans le noir. Alors, c'est parti. On va continuer la réunion. On venait de sortir du repas avec tous les autres invités. On avait découvert, on est de discuter avec le petit Napoléon Bonaparte. On lui a fait comprendre qu'on était un allié, si jamais. Voilà, on était donc là. Donc là, on va partir un peu explorer. Et on doit trouver la Gorgone. On avait vu dans le message de ma mère. Tu l'as vu qu'on peut regarder là? C'est pareil, c'est la même vue que dans ma chambre. De l'eau et des cailloux quoi. Ouais. Il y a une pièce.
An old sesterce from Roman call.
Piaggi.
Well, Your Eminence, do you still have any room left?
Ah, my son, the sin of gluttony is the most difficult of all in my eyes. Nevertheless, what a charming moment we have had together. I'm delighted I was able to talk to Mr. von Wollner. We hadn't spoken to each other for an eternity.
Yes. I noticed that Your Eminence knew a fair number of people at the table.
The benefit of age, my son. This isn't my first invitation to Lord Mortimer's. You will see, it's the perfect place to make new friends. Indeed, I noticed that you and Mr. Bonaparte had already begun.
Ah, I adapt quickly to local customs. It's
Eh ouais.
what I was taught.
And you are right to do so, my son. But tell me, have you had any news of your mother since your arrival?
Alas, still nothing, Your Eminence. But I still haven't been able to meet Lord Mortimer.
Do not worry. It is typical of him. What can I say? Lord Mortimer is a very busy
Je vais
man.
prendre une bouteille d'eau.
I should
Je
think
peux pas
of
partir
him
parce que si
to
jamais il y a un
follow.
jeu de dialogue, j'ai. Si c'est bon. Attends, je vois. J'ai fait une petite glissade, j'ai cru que je décédais. J'ai déjà fini mon thé quoi. Voilà. Plutôt oui, on va être froid, on va être sincère avec lui.
Well, I must admit, Your Eminence, indeed it does worry me.
I understand, but continue to have faith in Sarah. You'll see, I'm sure, that in a few days we'll all be laughing together.
Ouais.
That's all I hope for, Your Eminence. But while I have you with me, I have a question for you.
Go ahead, Louis. What can I do for you?
As I haven't visited all the manor yet, I wondered if you hadn't seen a Medusa by any chance.
I beg your pardon?
Yes, la Gorgogne, the Medusa from
La
Greek
Gorgogne.
mythology. Would you have seen one in any shape or form?
Not at all, my son. I'm not sure what you're getting at, but unfortunately, I'm not going to be of any use to you.
Thank you anyway, Your Eminence. I won't take up any more of your time. On that last word, then I shall leave you to fight your demons. See you later, Your Eminence.
See
Au
you
revoir.
later, my son.
Alors. Grosse tête de cochon là.
A swine in a salon. That's an odd choice of decor.
Parce qu'on est dans la. Là, il y a le repas, c'est pour ça.
This painting has caused some debate. Who did Dosi paint? Alcina the fairy or Circe the magician?
Ah oui, c'est vrai. Ça pourrait être Circe, en effet. Après avoir transformé tous les compagnons d'Ulysse. Non mais on va pas voir tous les tableaux.
Ulysses and Circe at the table. If I were you, Ulysses, I wouldn't drink the wine. Circe turning Ulysses' companions back into humans.
Non mais c'est Circe du coup. Mec il a mis l'Odyssée de partout là en fait.
Discourse on the Method by Descartes.
Et hop, en
Changed
logique.
the way I looked at the world.
Hop, eau de maïs. Je crois qu'on est déjà à 5 quasiment de partout quoi. Oh l'inventaire. Putain, on est déjà à 5 debout.
The only person sizing me up here is that monumental Zeus.
Ouais, c'est bien Zeus.
Can't be
Voilà.
here.
Il y avait excusez-moi. Est-ce qu'il y a quelqu'un ici? Non. Il y a un petit coffre là, et je crois que j'ai récupéré la clé pour.
There's a pattern with 5 circles on this chest.
Ah ouais. Oula.
No space left. I'll retrieve it later.
Oh là là, mais bon, si jamais, il y en a beaucoup ici. Hein. Ouais, de l'autre côté du salon rouge, on n'a pas fait l'autre côté. Juste que je voulais voir ce coffre là. Hop. Ah, il y a encore. Mais non, mais vraiment.
The lock is surrounded by a triple circle.
Non, mais je l'ai pas celle-là. Oh, tu vas dire c'est 1. Ah bah tiens.
I have no space left. I'll retrieve it later. I have no space left. I'll retrieve it later.
Quoi? Oh, la petite
Greek
pièce.
drachma. One of the rare ancient coins to be mentioned both in the Bible and in the Quran. Amber crystals.
Hop. Merde, j'ai une clé. Clé. Petite clé dont l'anneau représente le symbole occulte de la Terre. Ouais, je me souviens plus si j'ai trouvé un. Oula. Quoi? Mais c'est humainement pas possible.
Actress, the Miller brothers. Mother expressly forbade me from reading it.
C'est vrai qu'il faut pas que je bois trop parce que sinon j'ai des malus.
A few pages out of an old encyclopedia.
Ah, mais c'est bon. Ah, trop bien.
A drachma.
J'ai fini l'encyclopédie, c'est trop bien. Ah, la scène.
Where all eyes size you up. Chances are, that's the room my mother spoke of. And she also spoke of a Medusa. Should I go and try to find the creature now?
Ouais, partout là.
Allegory regarding the decoration of the rights of men. That's the least you could say. Liberty or Death by Regnault. Well, I'll take liberty, please.
No,
I do understand his choice, even though it seems radical. Ah, painting by Ingres. Molière dining with Louis XIV.
Molière.
The king's posture is surprising.
Louis XIV.
It's almost as if he's addressing someone in the assembly.
Non, on peut pas aller dehors. Quoi? Tiens, il y a un message. Réservé à Oh putain, mais. Réservé à Manuel Codoy.
Christ crucified by Velasquez.
Excuse-moi.
Look, someone's left a note there. Reserved for the Duke of Alquida.
Oh. Oh. Ah, encore un livre.
A song of Roland. Roland feeleth his death is near. His brain is oozing by either ear. With his brain oozing, it's already remarkable that he can feel anything.
Ah, c'est pas besoin de tout le cerveau.
Ah, François Ier, receiving the Holy Family. A painting by Raphael.
François Ier.
Amber.
Ah, encore de l'ambre. Encore un et un point en plus.
The Fall of Phaeton. Another painting by Rubens. Poor Phaeton, struck by lightning for borrowing his father's chariot and losing control of it. Moral: don't steal dad's chariot.
Mais le mec, il a des tableaux. Ils sont tellement immenses, quoi. Encore de l'ambre.
A fragment of amber. The Company by Rembrandt.
Je la connais, celle-là.
A meeting between Louis XIV and Philippe V. I wonder why Mortimer's particularly fond of this painting.
Hop, y a pas une petite pièce là? Petite pièce, monseigneur. Ah ça, bizarrement, je connais cette... Je pense que tout le monde connaît cette...
Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci.
The last day before his crucifixion, Jesus announces that he will be betrayed by one of his disciples.
Et la mec, il a la scène chez lui, quoi. Ça va? Pas trop riche, le Mortimer, ça va?
Celia. That name means nothing to me.
Ah bah elle est là-bas, la Gorgonne. Bah tiens, c'est lui, Mortimer.
A painting with no name.
Voilà, je suppose que c'est Mortimer.
Devil's Thorn. I'll keep it. Honey. I couldn't have
Honey.
hoped for better.
Honey. Bon, gros, j'ai resté par un point d'énergie, quoi. La Médusa. La Gorgogne.
I've got to find out what Mother was trying to do with her. The Medusa. A hero armed with a sword? A hero with a lantern? And the last one holding a shield. I'll stake my life on it. All the statues form a single scene together. The poor devils are about to face the beast.
Voilà. J'aime beaucoup.
Let's give
Alors,
them a helping hand.
C'est Percé qui tue Méduse. Je crois que c'est Percé, non? L'histoire de Percé. Bah, il utilise le... Bah, attends.
origin of myths, a reinterpretation of legendary creatures. Just what I need. The text is in French on the left-hand page and in Latin on the right hand. Let's find the chapter on the Medusa.
Ah ouais, lis la page en français.
Hang on. This version is significantly different from the regular one. It recounts how men have always belittled women in society. Harpies, mermaids, the chimera, the hydra, the gorgons. Ah, the section on the Medusa. While some of the heroes divert attention from the gorgon, the hero with the sword brandishes his weapon at the Medusa.
Les héros détournés, attention de... Donc celui à l'épée vise Gorgone. Mais dans le mythe, il la bat avec le bouclier. Non? C'est quand il lui fait regarder le bouclier, ça reflète son propre regard. Mais du coup, le mec à la lanterne, c'est qui? T'es qui, toi? Lol, t'es qui? Ça coûte trop cher. Vers... Celui à le héros? Celui vers... Je sais pas s'il faut que j'aille plus quelque part.
If I respect the legend, I have to place the hero holding the shield in front of the Medusa.
Oui, bah,
Except for here, it doesn't work. There must be something else.
It looks right, but nothing's happening. Maybe, in this position, the hero with the shield is just dazzling his colleague.
Ah oui, mais je peux pas changer les statuts de place. Hmm. Donc, la légende, c'est pendant que les héros détournent le regard de Méduse, celui à l'épée lui coupe la tête. Donc, logiquement, celui à l'épée coupe la tête à Méduse pendant qu'elle ne regarde pas. Mais du coup, là, ces deux-là, ils sont en train de s'annuler, là. Comme ça? Oh, yes. Parce que du coup, ça fait un...
Whoa.
Oh, la chambre secrète.
Rah!
Oh, mais qu'est-ce que tu fais là?
Pete's sake, Emily! You scared the pants off me. Don't ever do that again.
Well, keep your nose out of my business then.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Stop fooling around and tell me what you're doing here.
Et toi, qu'est-ce que tu fais là? Botte en touche avec humour. Bah, je lui retourne la question. Qu'est-ce que toi tu fais là?
Oh yeah? So tell me what you're doing here.
I mean,
Yeah, just like me.
probably, but I asked the question first.
And you haven't asked me yet.
What about a little gallantry, Louis? Come on, I'm listening. What are you doing here?
Alors, la femme d'abord. Non mais elle, attendez. Elle est où? Viens. Elle est immunité à la logique, mais elle est vulnérable à la psychologie.
Since you insist, Duchess, gallantry obliges this. Lady ladies first.
You just won't give in, will you?
I'm sorry, madam. It isn't in my nature.
Eh oui.
Well, no matter. I'll tolerate your presence this one time. Now, since you're here, make yourself useful. Look around on your side. I'll do the same on mine. And if you find anything of interest, let me know.
Oh, yeah. In your dreams. At your service, madam.
Ok. On est où? Il se passe plein de trucs là. Alors.
I found an amazing ring. There's an inscription engraved on it.
Fais-lui une plaisanterie avec la bague.
You're married. Why don't you wear a wedding ring?
You mean wear something just to prove your love? Not my style.
Ouh. J'ai vu, il y a de l'ambre là-bas.
Carry on searching.
Avec sa robe, elle bodyblock le passage. Je fasse le tour. Je me force à faire le tour du coup. Un pot. Un vase. Ce que tu cherches, je vais pas lire les inscriptions pour un vase quoi. Je cherche ma mère, je cherche pas un vase. C'est quoi ça?
Golden fleece.
Ouais, c'est la
It's
toison d'or.
freezing. Hurry up.
C'est la toison d'or.
Cold? You want a rug? It'll warm you up.
I wouldn't be caught dead in that horrible thing.
That's a pity. The gold color brings out your eyes.
And your flattery brings out your boorishness.
Oula. Ou Louis, on vient de prendre Charles. Ah, il vient de nous la retourner là. Oh là là, Louis. Louis, on s'est fait caler à une puissance. Oh là, pauvre Louis.
An unofficial gospel. You'd be more likely to find this kind of book at the Vatican.
Nothing special. The library at Buckingham has 3.
Quelle vantarde.
Gee, is there anything England doesn't have yet? Wait. Yes, there is. The United States.
Allez, tiens,
Not
allez.
yet. Besides, as far as I know, they don't speak French in the United States.
Oh, ça, en cette période, il y en a encore certains qui parlent français. Hein. Il y a encore nos anciennes colonies. Hein.
Hey, Mortimer's the author of this work.
Pensez sur l'art.
Talks about his passion for art.
Une pièce. Qu'est-ce que c'est que ce truc dégueulasse? Ok. Oh.
Guess what I've found?
The Holy Grail.
Older than that.
A piece of Noah's Ark.
Not that old.
This could go on for hours. Just tell me.
Caesar's laurel wreath. I can just see Mortimer dressed in a toga, wearing a laurel wreath, strutting around his manor all day long.
You have a curious idea of Mortimer.
Why? He's eccentric, like all the English are, isn't he?
Well, if Peru stands for French grace, then if I were you, I wouldn't be making
Je joue au
that
clavier
sort
depuis
of
tout à l'heure.
remark.
Une note.
Looks like a pamphlet on different political regimes.
Ah, mais c'est entre un truc à 5 pages. Oh là là.
Written by Mortimer himself.
Oh, une épée. C'est Excalibur?
You should see this sword, Emily. It's magnificent.
I'm busy. Describe it to me.
I think this is Excalibur, King Arthur's sword. I've always dreamt of drawing it from the stone.
How sweet. You're still clinging to your boyhood dreams. When you finished playing, maybe you can help me search the place?
Oh, mais elle est pénible, hein.
Amber crystals.
Peut me laisser rêver?
Here's something interesting. A manor in Maine, hundreds of acres of land in Catalonia, properties in Shanghai. Incredible. Some of these deeds are over 600 years old, and all signed by the hand of Mortimer.
I
Bah, hein?
wonder if that's what inspired my mother's attention. How come all these documents have Mortimer's signature on them?
Do you think all these properties really belong to him?
Mais il a pas 600 ans.
Several people have played the part of Mortimer, a part that has been passed down from generation to generation. Different men, but with one sole identity.
An intriguing hypothesis, and yet less twisted than some of my previous cases.
At last, you finally agree with me about something.
Ouais.
Documents are intriguing, but do you really think that's what attracted your mother's attention here?
And how do you know my mother was interested in this room?
I didn't know, I just supposed she was. And you just
Ah, t'es
confirmed
tombé dans
it.
son piège.
So, do you think she found what she came for?
I don't know. She was obsessed with Mortimer, and I must confess, these property deeds are troubling.
If that's
Très
the case,
logique en vrai.
would she have left them?
Once again, I
En vrai, je pense pas qu'un seul homme peut avoir récolté autant que ce qu'il y a dans son manoir.
And what's your take? Why keep such a collection hidden in a secret room? Any thoughts?
Mortimer has every reason in the world to conceal it, even if only to keep it from people like us.
Hey, Emily, we're not thieves. We're only looking. I wonder why my mother didn't make it clear what she was interested in here.
She didn't have time to write it down, or maybe she wasn't sure of what she was looking for.
Or she wanted to protect her discoveries. It's disturbing.
You'll just have to search the rest of the room. Maybe you'll find something.
Vous changez pas beaucoup de vêtements, madame.
What is that you found?
A cameo pendant. What's going on?
Nothing.
For crying out loud, Emily, you lunged for that jewel like your life depended on it. Tell me what this is about.
No. We just met, Louis. I like you, but I can't just suddenly open myself up like a book to you.
Listen, Emily. It seems pretty obvious to me that you haven't come here for the sole purpose of sampling Mortimer's cellar.
Stop all the clever evasions. and
Dites-moi qui vous êtes.
And why the hell should I place my trust in you, Louis?
Psychologie. Elle aime pas la psychologie. Allô, mais ils sont où? Ah, ils sont là.
When are you going to understand that I just want to help you?
What do you expect? That I'll fall into your arms and say yes to everything you want?
What are you talking about? I'm only asking you to trust me a little.
If only on principle, as a member of the Golden Order, for example.
I'll admit you are fairly reliable.
That's it? I was expecting more.
Well, I'm prepared to trust you when it comes to choosing a French cheese. But I've nothing to gain by
mais comme elle nous.
any further
Mais
than that.
Nothing to gain? Damn it, Emily. I'm only trying to help you. Stop needing to gain something all the time.
Because you think I need help.
Just like everyone. You have your strengths and your weaknesses.
ouais, moi je commence à en connaître certaines.
No use pretending otherwise.
Ha! And I bet you found out where I'm weak, haven't you?
En psychologie.
You think your scathing wit protects you, but in fact it makes you blind. No sooner have people introduced themselves than you already see them in a bad light. You play the part of a strong woman, and yes, you are a strong woman, of course. But what I see is a sensitive young lady who lacks self-confidence. Stop adopting a defensive posture, and you'll see just how quickly new doors will open.
There is some truth to what you're
Ben, bien sûr, je t'ai analysé
I
déjà.
might have some weaknesses, but I don't need your help to overcome them. And I'm simply not contemplating collaborating with anyone at this time. Do you understand?
Interrogatoire. Est-ce que... Un interrogatoire, on sait pas. Faisons interrogatoire.
I know you well enough to see that you're hiding something from me.
Ah non.
Why won't you look
Immunité.
me in the eyes?
Immunité. Ah bon, bah voilà. Ah, on connaît... Ah, c'est bon, il n'y en a plus d'autres. Elle a qu'une seule vulnérabilité, sinon elle a 2 immunités.
I figured you out, but you refused to accept it.
Espion. Je suis devenu espion, apparemment. C'est vrai, toutes les immunités de Emily. Ah.
And you're starting to find me charming too.
it. You win. You, worst investigator there ever was, have sussed me out. Well, at least you made me smile. I already have a work partner. I know my weaknesses. I don't doubt that your abilities will be of use to me. But
Et testé,
I
hein.
already have all that, thanks to my teammate.
Is there any chance you might tell me who he is?
No, I've already said too much. Consider yourself
Putain, je suis
lucky I've
fatigué, là.
given you this much. It's extremely rare, believe me.
Come on, don't stop now that you've come this far. You know that eventually I'll end up making you talk.
Well, since no one can resist you, let's see if you can guess who my partner is.
You're a gambler. So, your partner is...
Sur elle a une sœur. Obligé. Je pense pas qu'elle travaille avec ma mère. Ma mère, ça... Elle a pas l'air de caractère à travailler avec des gens. Et genre, pas sa mère, genre. Sa mère. Non, je pense que toujours, elle a une sœur. Je suis sûr, elle a une sœur. C'est le truc. Je suis sûr que c'est sa sœur.
Your sister. She's your partner. She's the one you're looking for.
Bon, c'est plus logique, moi, je
I
pense.
am
Hein.
impressed. How the devil did you guess I had a sister? Virtually no one even knows. When it
C'est le
comes to
plus- c'est le plus
yourself,
logique.
you are very good. I grant you that. You deserve to know why the sight of the cameo pendant affected me so strongly.
Personnage découvert.
I thought it belonged to Emma, my twin sister.
Ah, ça, par contre, je l'ai pas vu venir.
Oh. Now I get why you said you had a memory for two.
Yes, you can't imagine to what extent, though. As children, everyone got us mixed up. So one day we decided to play along. Since then, we have become one and the same. We have officially erased the identity of my sister Emma. Emily Hillsborough. The woman with two faces.
C'est trop bien.
Clever.
Meilleur espion au monde, quoi.
Complicated? How do you make it work?
One of us has no existence in the outside world. We share everything. First for one, then for the other. We dress the same, wear the same makeup, we speak the same. We've learned to act as one. When we accept a mission, we both turn up. This time, though, she went ahead, and I was meant to wait for her on the mainland. She was meant to meet Sir Home and bring back the details so we could work out who would follow up.
And there was a problem?
She was supposed to return from Mortimer's 1 week ago. The boat turned up at Plymouth, but alas, no trace of my sister. Instead, a sailor passed me a message from home, notifying me of her sudden disappearance.
So, my mother and your sister go missing.
Mais du coup, ils
just a
sont au
few
courant, eux,
days
ici,
apart.
alors.
That's strange. Maybe their disappearances are linked.
It's clearly a possibility, but up to now I haven't found a trace of either of them.
None of this is very reassuring.
By the way, Louis, now that you are in on the secret, you are obliged to keep it to yourself, or you will pay very dearly.
Don't worry. Your secret is safe with me.
Et du coup,
It's time to leave.
Sir Holmes, il est au courant que t'as une sœur jumelle. Il est au courant du coup parce que il lui a envoyé une lettre pour lui dire qu'elle avait disparu. C'est qu'il il le sait lui.
What do you think of our first adventure?
Enquête aussi, putain mais je gagne plein de traits. Vous pouvez équiper un manuscrit supplémentaire, c'est trop bien.
I must admit it has been fun by your side.
Same here.
On va où? On va se coucher là?
Oh, she's been drinking too much again.
Louis, I need to talk to you right now.
Good evening, Elizabeth. Actually, this is not a good time.
I'm begging you, please don't leave me alone.
I'll be waiting for you in your room, but don't be late.
Ok.
I was sure there was a certain je ne sais quoi between us.
Louis,
Non, le mec, elle t'a rembarré toute la soirée. À quel moment il y a un truc entre vous quoi?
Looks like Elizabeth really needs me, but if I start talking to her, for sure Emily won't wait for me. What should I do?
Je peux pas résister à l'appel d'une damoiselle en détresse. Je vais suivre les élébètes.
Sorry, Emily, but I can't leave
Elizabeth like this. All right, Elizabeth. How can I help?
Thank you. Come on, follow me. I really need to talk to you, Louis, right now.
Does Lord Mortimer know the mess you've made of your room?
Listen to me, damn it! My days are numbered.
Elizabeth, I don't know if it's about my mother again, but I'm telling you, you've nothing to be afraid of. She didn't come here for you.
I saw her.
Saw who?
Quoi?
You saw my mother? When?
Just last night. I went out to walk along the cliff top and I saw her in the distance. She tried to hide right away, but I'm sure it was her.
Are you saying you recognized my mother in the middle of the night while she was hiding?
Yes, Louis, I know it was her.
You just said she was far away, right? In the middle of the night. And the exterior of the island isn't exactly well lit.
Listen, I'm telling you it was her.
She doesn't hesitate on her answers. She's not trembling. She's really convinced of what she's seen. Did you talk to each other?
No, she was far away. I didn't make any noise, and then she was gone.
Have you told anyone you've seen her? Sir Holm? Mortimer?
You don't understand.
Elle se balade sur l'île du coup?
Her. She's here.
Yes, I understand.
No, you're not listening. The moment I saw her, I was overcome by spasms. She's here. I'm telling you, it was her.
Oh, elle l'a vraiment traumatisé. Hein.
I need something to calm me down.
No thanks, I'd better not.
Listen, if you want me to tell you everything, you have to drink with me, Louis. What I have to say to you is of the utmost importance.
Oh putain. Ah, le couteau juste à côté, il me fait peur quand même.
I'll drink with you, but let's go easy on it, okay?
Elle a vu ma mère, elle a peut-être des infos.
I don't know where she gets her rot gut from, but frankly, it's disgusting.
You know, Louis, when I came here, it was in the hope of getting help. I've only just now realized that I've been drawn here into a trap.
Elle a brimstone sur le bras.
Whoa. The alcohol's
Oh non, mais pas drogué quand même.
gone to my head.
Here, the condemned's last drink.
Elizabeth, alcohol never solves anything. I'm gonna stop now.
Listen up. You want to know what your mother was capable of, right? You want to know the reason why. Well, you're gonna have to follow me to the bottom of the abyss, Louis. Either drink or get out.
Ah, je sens que c'est l'enculade. Je sens que c'est l'enculade. Je sens l'enculade débarquer là. Ah, je te suis, mais c'est parce que j'ai envie d'infos, hein. Mais je sens l'enculade.
Man, I need to take it easy with the booze. At this rate, I won't last the night.
C'est bon, l'autre elle a l'air de boire ça comme de l'eau là.
Alcohol won't solve our problems.
L'autre elle a l'air de boire ça comme de le putain d'eau là.
Ugh. The second one isn't any easier.
So, do you want to know why she did all those things to me or not? Even if it changes the image you have of her forever?
What was she trying to cure you of then?
Of the one illness she never managed to treat me for.
Encore. Non mais elle se fout de ma gueule, elle m'a drogué en fait. À me teaser là. Alors, tu veux savoir? Allez, bois un verre. Tu veux vraiment savoir? Bois un autre verre. Non, non, mais attends, je vais te le dire, mais je bois un autre verre. Non mais c'est bon, elle m'a drogué quoi.
Come on, Elizabeth. We have to finish what we started. I feel all dizzy.
Tu m'étonnes. Tu veux, je dois masquer.
There must have been a reason. Just tell me. Tell me what my mother treated you for.
She wanted to silence them.
What? What are you talking about? Silence what?
The voices. The voices in my head.
Ouais, elle est...
They speak to me, Louis. They've
taré, quoi.
always told me what to do. They say nasty things to me.
Elle est schizophrène. Elle est possédée. Elle est folle, elle est.
Elizabeth, are you saying that spirits talk to you?
You're right. Sometimes there are several voices. How did you know?
No, listen, I don't know anything. I'm just repeating what you said.
They want me. Want me just for themselves. They talk to me all the time.
Ouais, elle est schizo. Et à l'époque, la schizophrénie étant pas reconnue comme une maladie mentale que tu peux pas
Look at the
traiter.
result.
It's
Tu
impossible.
peux limiter, mais pas
You
traiter.
spent your life trying to prove that the supernatural doesn't exist. Why punish this poor girl? Oh shit. What has she done to you?
Uh-oh, Louis. Are you starting to believe me?
No, but she...
Too bad it's all been for nothing. They're still there, you know.
What do you mean? They're still talking to you?
All the time. Despite everything Sarah put me through, I still hear them.
Bah, la
And here I
schizophrénie,
am
ça
on
se,
a
ça
lost island,
se guérit pas juste en enlevant des morceaux de cerveau et en disséquant la victime. Hein.
the exact same time as her. You see? You understand? You sense it too. I'm going to die here. I beg you, tell me you believe me.
Elle a l'air vraiment... On va rester d'accord avec elle, d'accord? Parce que... j'ai peur. J'ai peur. La schizophrénie elle peut faire n'importe quoi, donc...
I'm here, Elizabeth. I'm right here with you. And I do believe you.
Thank you, Louis. You know, despite what people might think, I'm not crazy.
Non, t'es pas taré, t'es juste... Non, non, mais pas notre verre, là, c'est bon. Il le boit, je crois. Il est perdu. Hein.
My
Il est dans...
God, Elizabeth, how is this possible?
Welcome to my world, little Louis. Welcome to my life.
Pourquoi elle quitte pas l'île?
Elizabeth, the whole story stinks of death. If I were you, I'd have left the moment you heard me speak about my mother. I don't know if she knows you're here, but if I had any doubt, I wouldn't take the risk.
Yeah, you're right. I can't stay here another minute. I need to get the hell out of here. I need to find a boat and get away. I'm not dying here.
Oh, I feel so dizzy.
You like my little concoction, don't you? That's rare.
What?
It no longer has any effect on me. But my guests generally don't appreciate me mixing alcohol with laudanum.
Attends, mais c'est pas le truc qui fait endormir?
What? You put laudanum in my drink?
In both. Don't worry, my little Louis. We'll sink down to the bottom together.
Oh man, I feel like puking. I really feel like shit.
Ah, je l'avais dit, hein.
I gotta get back.
Don't worry, Louis. I'm here now. I'll take good care of you, and then I'll leave.
Don't touch me. Just leave.
Je vais me faire violer en plus.
Fall.
Oh, little Louis tired. Leave everything to me.
Qu'est-ce que tu fais avec ce couteau là? Non, non, non.
Just let go.
Raté, j'ai bu avec Elisabeth. Merde. Attends, alors ça va me donner sciences linguistiques et érudition. Sciences linguistiques et érudition. Et est-ce que derrière j'ai un autre bouquin? Comme je vais en prendre 2. Sur l'érudition. Donc je vais prendre un point en linguistique. Comme ça, ça a monté de 1. Là en érudition, je vais prendre plus 2. Donc je vais monter de 1 aussi. Je peux aller chercher... la politique. Voilà. Et après, je vais continuer à augmenter... à augmenter ma vigilance, je pense. Ah, j'ai perdu, je suis mort. Je suis mort ou c'est la fin du premier épisode? Ah, c'était la fin du premier épisode, ok, d'accord. Non, bah voilà. On a fini le premier épisode.
How many times must I tell you? You must never put your life on the line for me.
Mother has always had a fascination for Lord Mortimer, but has never wanted to tell me why.
We are doing our utmost to find your mother as quickly as possible.
Without your mother, hundreds of men of the cloth would have gone to the guillotine.
All I can tell you is I'm looking for my sister.
Do you believe your mother capable of torturing a child?
An agreement for cannons. Lord Mortimer assured me that you are to take over the project on behalf of your mother.
Johann Christoph von Wollner, Minister of Religious Affairs, and Jacques Perroux, French Revolutionary Tribunal Judge.
J'ai une petite altercation avec lui.
Find that Lord Mortimer is not what one would call conventional, Monsieur de Richet.
I do apologize for being late. I was obliged to clear up some urgent business.
Donc on a dit érudition et l'encyclopédie. Voilà. Boum. Touche à tout. Touche à tout, c'est parce que j'ai tous les talents, c'est ça? Vos gains d'expérience ont augmenté de 10%. Bah c'est bien ça, c'est trop bien. C'est une bonne chose d'avoir tout au niveau 1. Oh! Au prochain manuscrit que je trouve, pour en équiper un, ça fera 3 par... Mais tu sais, après, au bout d'un moment, il va falloir que j'en trouve plus, parce que... Après, ouais, ok, d'accord, après c'est... Ça, là, c'est genre monter au niveau 3. Ouais, d'accord, ok. Putain, en vrai, il y a des trucs vachement bien, là, en vrai. Le temps imparti pour réussir les opportunités multiplié par un mélange 5, monter des trucs niveau 3, c'est bien. Réussir une opportunité vous rend un point d'effort. Putain. Il divise par 2 les faux éléments apparaissant à l'écran lors des opportunités. Ouais, on s'en fout. En vrai, ça va, c'est pas trop compliqué pour le temps. L'état décontenancé est remplacé par l'état concentré. Consommer une croyance vous rend également un point d'effort. Ramasser des pièces de collection vous rapporte plus d'expérience. C'est rétroactif, apparemment. Ok. Consommer une eau de malice vous rend également un point d'effort. Gagner des points d'expérience en fin de quête. Vous récupérez vos points d'effort perdus lorsque vous rencontrez une immunité. Ok. Ramasser un consommable vous en donne un autre. Après, je suis déjà full au consommable. Vous regagnez un point d'effort supplémentaire si vous exploitez une vulnérabilité. C'est pas mal ça. Manipulation psychologie. Ouais, mais c'est pas genre mon personnage. Moi, je suis pas en manipulation, moi. Moi, je suis en logiste. Donc c'est là. Ça, c'est pas mal ça. Conviction logique. Après, conviction logique, c'est où? C'est là. Conviction. Logique, c'est pas là. Non. Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé du coup avec l'autre là? Je me suis endormi, c'est tout?
apologize wholeheartedly, Louis. I made you cross the seas, and I wasn't even here to welcome you. When I asked you to join us here, it was, of course, in the hope that you would help us find your mother. Unfortunately, I am now confronted with another
J'ai
problem.
découvert Lord Mortimer. Wouh! Lord Mortimer. Putain, il en manque un encore. Sérieusement? Marquis de Westfordshire et père de Grande-Bretagne. Richissime aristocrate anglais aussi discret qu'influent. Investisseur de talent, la réussite de Mortimer dans les affaires fut magistrale. Il finit par se retirer de la scène publique en s'isolant de plus en plus souvent sur son île privée. Grand mécène, il finança un bon nombre d'artistes, prenant plaisir à mettre en présence des personnalités inattendues. Il fit de même avec les grands de ce monde, hommes d'influence et d'état de son époque. Depuis, il organise régulièrement des rendez-vous mondains sur son île privée au large de l'Angleterre. Ouais, c'est le mec qui gère le monde entier depuis chez lui, quoi. Le mec, il est derrière tous les grands coups d'état et tout.
I would rather have done without. You see, last night, Miss Adams also went missing.
Interrogatoire.
And why is that? Can you tell me more?
I have had my people searching for her all over the island. Alas, to no avail. It so happens that both her mental and her physical health are extremely fragile. I'm worried that the same thing happened to her as to your mother. Also, I would appreciate it very much if you could tell me what you were doing on the floor in her room in the early hours
It's quite
of the morning.
normal. I can explain everything.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear it. You see, Sir Gregory is about to arrive, and he's taken Elizabeth's disappearance very, very.
Elle m'a drogué.
Please,
Moi, je crois, hein.
reassure him
Elle m'a drogué.
so that we can talk about your mother.
Je vais dire, bah, elle m'a drogué. Je sais pas où elle est passée.
I would like to see you a moment before we begin. In private.
Let's step outside a moment. Louis, this will only take a few moments.
Il y a un oiseau dans la pièce. Ah oui, il y a un oiseau. Je sens que si je fouille le bureau, il va débarquer avant. Ah, c'est sûr et certain. Tu vas aller fouiller le bureau, mais j'en suis sûr, il va débarquer avant. Je pense que Lord Mortimer, c'est le genre de mec, quand il laisse des affaires sur son bureau privé et qu'il sort, le mec il sait. Le mec il sait. Là je pense que Mortimer, c'est le mec, il a pas réussi là où il est, il fait pas des coups d'état dans le monde entier. Si il sait pas, le mec. Moi je patiente.
Better not make myself look more suspicious than I already do.
Ouais, en plus je pense que c'est à cause de moi qu'Adam c'est parti. Ah, le mec il débarque avec l'autre français en plus là.
Good evening, Monsieur de Richet.
Likewise, Sir Gregory.
Well then, let us begin.
Gregory, Louis told me we needn't be concerned.
Of course. Monsieur de Richet, the situation seems to escape your grasp, so I won't beat about the bush. Did you kill Elizabeth Adams?
Oui, bien sûr. Elizabeth est morte. Attends. Je sais déjà des trucs sur lui ou pas? Holmes. Non, j'ai pas...
What? Elizabeth is dead?
No, now let us remain calm. We do not yet know, Gregory, precisely what has happened to our poor Elizabeth.
I beg your pardon? So what are you accusing me of then?
We must remain calm, Gregory. We have found no evidence that would suggest that Elizabeth has been murdered. For the time being, she has only disappeared. Let's stick to the facts, if you please.
Well, where is she then?
Peut-être chez sa sœur. Peut-être chez sa sœur, ensemble.
I'm not absolutely sure, but I'd wager she's gone to visit her sister.
I beg your pardon?
Good Lord! You mean Abigail?
Yes, they've been keeping in touch by mail. Elizabeth always dreamt of meeting her. I wouldn't be surprised if she went to see her.
Damnation, William. This is a fiasco. Sir, you don't seem to realize just how serious this is.
Let's try and remain calm, Gregory. In any case, it would be far better if Elizabeth really has left the island, as Louis says. Why do you think she wanted to leave?
Pour fuir ma mère.
She was terrorized by my mother's presence here. Just the thought of coming face to face with her was unbearable.
Did she tell you why?
Yes, she brought the subject up.
I'm sorry, Louis. It couldn't have been easy to hear.
For your sake, I sincerely hope that she got there safely. Monsieur de Richet, I apologize if my words seemed a little abrupt. I dare not think what...
Avocat. Un point en conviction. J'ai convaincu mes juges de mon innocence. J'ai mis un point en conviction. C'est où la C'est là la conviction.
would happen if Elizabeth came across your mother on the island. Your generosity may well cost you dearly.
I understand, my lord. I certainly regret it.
You don't need us for any of this. So come along, Monsieur Peru. We are leaving.
Ah vraiment, ils ont juste fait venir Pérou pour me stresser en fait.
Right.
En mode,
It's time we spoke about your mother, Louis.
Elle n'a pas disparu. Faut dire, elle n'a pas disparu.
She isn't missing, you know.
What? What do you mean?
My mother has left traces in every nook and cranny of your island, my lord. She's definitely here. Now, what worries me most is why she doesn't show herself.
That doesn't make me feel any better, Louis.
What was the official reason why my mother came to your island?
I knew about your mother's activities and yours in the Golden Order. I thought we had everything to gain by working together.
Ouais, ça j'avais deviné, vous saviez
Hand
tout
in
quoi.
hand with Monsieur Bonaparte?
Among others, yes. How did you hear about that?
Bah tu me parlais mec.
Bonaparte came to speak to me about it yesterday, during lunch.
I see. So
Ah oui, il est un peu impétueux.
You're supposed to let me speak to you about it first. Our friend Napoleon desperately needed financial backing to properly equip his army. I took it upon myself to back him because I have a firm conviction that he can go far.
We shall see.
Bizarrement moi aussi, je pense qu'il peut aller loin.
One thing that surprises me.
Ouais. Pourquoi aider un lieutenant? Ma mère vendait des armes.
Isn't Bonaparte a bit young to deserve so much attention?
Well, you come straight to the point. I like that. Indeed, if you knew just how much you remind me of him. Trust me, I'll wager that Monsieur Napoleon will soon prove himself. I'm working on it, at least. Once this deal was
On va découvrir que
I had a big plan.
Bonaparte, il a fait son coup d'état parce que Mortimer.
I've
Quoi.
invited several influential figures on my island to present them with a project at the conference. It will be presented later today. I thought that the Golden Order had a role to play. And I still think so. I was hoping Sarah would be able to join us.
I see.
Indeed, if by chance your mother decided not to return to us before the conference, would you do me the great honor of attending? If only to follow the deliberations while waiting.
J'accepte parce que le jeu il s'appelle The Council.
Why not? We shall see.
Ah, thank you so much. In this way, you'll be able to keep your mother informed of what he said. There's something else I'd like to briefly go over. Earlier, you asked me the official reason for your mother's presence here. Is there an off-the-record reason why your mother came here?
Est-ce qu'on lui fait confiance? Moi je pense qu'on lui fait pas confiance. Je pense que tu peux pas faire confiance à un mec de man who sold the world. Hein? Je suis sûr que ce mec, il a l'air d'avoir tellement d'infos. Mec, je suis sûr que... En fait, je pense qu'il sait déjà pourquoi ma mère est venue là. Mais il veut voir si moi je lui dis. Je pense. Attendez, je reviens, j'ai la date, je ferai un petit truc à grignoter. Et voilà, c'est là où on découvre qu'en fait, depuis le début, ce live, c'était une ad. C'était une ad, et qui veut un Kit Kat? Je fais la promo. Ouais, je gagne 8 millions en faisant cette promo. C'est faux. Moi, je pense qu'il faut rien lui dire. Parce que même si lui, il le sait, au moins, il comprendra que je suis pas du genre à vendre des infos directes à tout le monde. Comme le débile que j'ai fait avec Piaggi la dernière fois, là. L'autre, il m'a dit, mais pourquoi je vous ferai confiance? Et moi, je lui ai pensé tout de suite, mais parce que je fais partie d'un ordre secret, lol. Non, je pense qu'il faut pas lui dire. Même si on le sait. Même si je sais qu'il le fait. Alors du coup, lui, il va dire, bah, il joue pas franc jeu, mais en même temps.
If only my mother had trusted me, but she remained very mysterious. I'd have been delighted to answer your question.
Is this usual for her?
As head of the Order, secrets are her bread and butter, as you can imagine. That said, it's the first time she hasn't let me in on the reason for her trip. And it intrigues me, to tell you the truth.
Well, I am sure that Sarah will explain everything once she reappears. There's something I still don't get. In your opinion, why would your mother remain in hiding over several weeks?
Pour ça.
Her not coming back to the manor after so long makes me wonder if she is wary of someone.
Well, certainly. But whom? The only ones who were present during her stay were Sir Gregory, Duchess Hillsborough, Mr. von Walder, and myself.
You forget Elizabeth Adams, my lord.
That's true. But Gregory and I arranged it so that they wouldn't run into each other. I thought it had worked. Do you think that your mother felt she was in danger because of Elizabeth?
It's possible.
The only thing I can tell you is that Sarah had indeed changed. At the beginning of her stay here, we enjoyed spending time together, solving the world's problems.
You seem to know my mother very well, my lord. What did you talk about together?
Oh, as soon as we had a little free time, we liked to share points of view about practically any subject. We would find ourselves embarked on interminable discussions that could go from Monsieur Blanchard's flight in a hot air balloon to the Treaty of Jassy, or the adoption of the metric system in France last year, or even Mr. Eli Whitney's invention in the United States.
Il dit Whitney, qu'est-ce qu'il a pris? Cotton gin de Whitney, le traité de Jassy.
Ah, yes. His famous cotton gin. It was supposed to revolutionize cotton production in the United States.
It will revolutionize the world, Louis. The potential of this invention is much greater. Tomorrow, all industries will be switching to simple but large-scale production. Of that, I'm sure.
I'm surprised she didn't get you started on the Crusades. It was her favorite subject.
Are you joking? Sarah and I spent entire days together reliving them. It so happens that the Crusades are also my subject of predilection, especially the third. My ancestor distinguished himself brilliantly during the siege of Saint-Jean d'Acre.
La fameuse bulle papale de Grégory VIII.
Mother lulled my childhood with tales of the Crusades. How Richard the Lionheart and Philip Augustus had to battle it out to achieve their ends. And how Guy de Lusignan, having broken his word, launched the siege of Saint-Jean d'Acre.
Oh, I see Sarah's lessons have inspired new enthusiasts. Good on you, because not everyone can claim they know as much at your age. Your mother is a very well-read woman. You're quite lucky to have her as a model, Louis.
Yes, I know, but I'm still very worried.
I must admit, there are worse things to worry about now, Louis.
What do you mean?
Since she disappeared, your mother has been seen once. Her behavior on the evening of your arrival greatly surprised Gregory and myself. She resurfaced to attack Emma, Emily Hillsborough's twin sister. And
Ah, mais du coup, ça s'est passé vraiment le soir, c'était pas le passé ou le futur.
then, before Gregory could intervene, she ran off and disappeared again.
I beg your pardon? Hang on. That means my vision on the wharf, it was actually happening inside the manor. Mother shot Emily's sister? The very person she came looking for? Why would she do that? Excuse me, but between that and the childhood of Lady Adams, it's all a bit much for me to cope with. I need to piece it all together again to see things more clearly. You said that you spent a lot of time talking together at the beginning. What happened for that to change?
I'm afraid I haven't much to tell you. The more the days went by, the more she withdrew into herself. She never gave me an explanation. Until the day came when she purely and simply disappeared.
Where did she go when she wanted to be alone?
She would shut herself away in a room we use as a box room upstairs.
Would you allow me to go there?
Naturally, Louis, of course. I'll send you a servant to open it.
Thank you.
That's all I can tell you about the disappearance of your mother, Louis.
Attendez, mais
Be more helpful.
I shall stay on her trail and follow up any leads.
Non, non, mais attendez,
We will meet later on to welcome our last guest. In the meantime, I shall get someone to open the box room.
Ah non, mais attendez, on peut pas...
Thank you.
Mais... Genre...
The room was just opposite Mortimer's study.
On peut pas en parler 2 minutes? Emma, elle est morte ou pas? On a quand même vu une scène où elle pointait son flingue sur Emma en mode maintenant je vais te buter parce que t'es la seule à savoir où se trouve le bouquin. Genre... Non, parce que Sarah elle est venue juste pour essayer de retrouver sa sœur. Et vous me dites que le soir où on est arrivé avec Emma, avec Sarah, non pas Sarah, avec Emily, Emma se faisait buter ou pas du coup. Hop, débarras, une pièce. Ok, un débarras, la porte est fermée.
The door appears to be locked on the other side.
Ouvrir, bah non, mais du coup on peut pas l'ouvrir. Espèce de débile. Ok, donc de ce côté-là, nous avons...
Honey, there are burnt papers in a chair. There's a legible fragment left. Hey, I recognize my mother's handwriting. She says we must find a safer way to communicate. Someone is onto us. Trust in my faith in the man with the sword. So mother had an accomplice here. Who could it be?
Attends, tu vas me dire que il l'a pas vu, Mortimer?
Suspicious of. I must find the next part. Faith, sword. I recognize her love of riddles there.
Mortimer, il m'utilise pour retrouver Sarah. Tu vas me dire que quand elle a disparu et que l'autre il me dit oh, elle a passé toutes ses journées là-bas dedans. Tu vas me dire que... il a pas cherché.
Dante's paradise. Raise your head and be reassured. For what comes up here from the mortal world must ripen in our rays.
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Disc.
Hein? Observez le disque.
Oh, that reminds me of the ones my mother collects. It's magnetic.
Ah, c'est un aimant. Prends-le. Un aimant de forme circulaire. Ok. Inventaire Odomis.
St. Paul on the road to Damascus by Caravaggio. Caravaggio attained a magnificent command of black and the play of colors too. Paul facing an ordeal, the curtains of his illusions being raised, and receives the light from his Savior.
fierce opponent of the first Christians, St. Paul is suddenly struck by the call of Jesus Christ and converts. It's the best known conversion in Christian history, which teaches us that even enemies of Christ can be saved, and even become his greatest apostles after finding faith. From what I can recall, the account of his conversion could be found in the epistles to the Galatians, the Philippians, the Corinthians, and the Acts of the Apostles. Caravaggio attained a magnificent
Ok. D'accord. Du coup, il y a un bouquin. Hein? Il y a rien d'autre à foutre dans cette putain de pièce. Faut croire en l'homme à l'épée? Comment ça, faut croire en l'homme à l'épée?
The door appears to be locked on the other side. I think I heard something fall to the ground. A metallic sound, like a key falling to the floor.
Disais le disque.
See if it works.
Ah bah voilà, ok. Je croyais qu'il fait... D'accord, ok. J'ai juste pas appuyé sur ouvrir tout à l'heure en fait.
It's open.
Ok. C'est un escape game. Première salle passée. Passe à la deuxième salle. Oula. Commençons par la droite. Ok. Là, je les royale ici si jamais plus tard. Saint Paul.
Saint Paul is shown holding a sword. Strange. There's hardly any dust, as if the painting's been cleaned recently.
Faut croire au mec avec l'épée là, dit.
Inscription engraved on the frame. Let's take a closer look. This is how Paul spoke to his pilgrims from Rome. Just above that, someone's written down the figure 11 on the painting and underlined it twice. I don't know, what does that mean?
Fiez-vous à ma foi en l'homme à l'épée. Saint Paul 11 deux fois. Note ça dans un coin de mon cerveau. On va faire l'autre côté là. Là, il y a quoi? Truc à ouvrir. L'air? Ah non, ça j'ai pas. 7! Oh là là! Ah, c'est le moment où tu prends la compétence gratuite et tu l'ouvres. Pop! Ah, le cheat. Lui, il a pas d'épée, il a un livre.
A drawing of the Apostle Matthew, painted by Guido Reni, is represented as writing the word of the Lord, transmitted by the Holy Spirit, who appears here in the guise of an angel.
Ok.
Pound.
Petite pièce. Un livre. Ok. Beaucoup de livres. Ok.
The New Testament.
Une Bible de Gutenberg.
Is incredibly precious. I believe this is the book my mother referred to when calling upon the Lord.
En ma foi en l'homme à l'épée. Il s'appelait comment, on a dit? Merde. Il s'appelait Paul. Ça, il y a beaucoup trop à lire là.
guess I'll just come back later.
It's St. John, painted by Guido Rini.
Un livre. La Sophistra. Alice. Un en diversion.
Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Rini. Looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust.
Et du coup, s'en fout. Ok, s'en fout.
Painting of Saint Mark from the collection of the apostles by Guido Rini.
Là, c'est Saint-Marc.
Amber.
Encore, oui.
St. Paul, painted by Guido Rini.
C'est Saint Paul. Ce n'est pas un évangile. Attends, quoi?
St. Paul, of the 4 apostles shown in this piece, Paul is the only one who isn't an evangelist. He is the 13th apostle.
Ok. Saint Paul, 11 x 2, 13e apôtre. Et il est pas là. Il y a des sous-menus dans les sous-menus dans les sous-menus. Attendez, non, si on a des chiffres, il doit y avoir une logique. Il est le 13e apôtre. Il a marqué 11, souligné 2 fois. Dire 11 x 2, quoi, 22. Donc 13 et 22 pour le moment. Est-ce qu'il y a un endroit où il y a 13 et 22? Là, il y a 14 et 22. Là, il y a 5 et 22. Il y a 9 et 22. On cherche 13 et 22 là. Non. L'Apocalypse de Jean. Non, Pierre. L'épître de Paul. Non. Non. 1 et 22. Non.
I guess I'll just come back later.
Paul, 13e apôtre. 11 x 2. Et lui là, j'ai fait toute une putain d'analyse.
To Damascus by Caravaggio.
Ah, c'est encore Paul ça, tiens.
Saint Paul is the only saint to be presented twice in these paintings, contrary to the other apostles. How come? Caravaggio attained a magnificent command of black and the play of colors too. Paul facing an ordeal, the curtains of his illusions being raised, and receives the light from his Savior.
Paul est le seul saint qui est 2 fois. Et dans la Bible, il y a 2 trucs par rapport à Paul. Donc du coup, est-ce que c'est dans Épître Paul? Et après le 1 ou le 2 Ça, là, Épître aux Philippiens, aux Hébreux. 1 et 22. Et le 13, il est où, là?
The Jews require a sign, and the Greeks seek after wisdom.
Non, nul. Ça sert à rien. 13 et 22. 11 et 11. 2 fois?
I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid, but rather through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles, for to provoke them to jealousy. Wait, a note from Mother is carefully folded between the pages here. What does it say? Dear E, I'm glad you found this note. I was afraid the code of the two groups of pilgrims would mislead you. Pick up the package. You know where, and hide it where no one will find it. It's imperative. Awaiting your reply, hidden behind the youngest apostle. What? The youngest apostle? What does Mother mean by that?
2 fois, de coup. 11 souligné 2 fois, c'était 11 et 11, pas 22. En fait, quand j'ai juste vu 11 et 11, j'ai fait ah, peut-être ça. Le plus jeune des apôtres. C'est qui le plus jeune des apôtres, moi? Elle, c'est une femme.
St. John is the only apostle painted in this gallery who hasn't got a beard. Hey, wait! That means it's him. He's the youngest apostle. Right. This painting is therefore associated with the answer which E had to give to my mother. Now, I just need to know how to recover the answer. The painting looks like it's been taken down recently. But wasn't my mother said that she would wait for an answer hidden behind the apostle? Ah, of course. There's something written behind the painting. On the second day, the pilgrims will listen to the prophecy of the young apostle. They shall add one companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean?
Réfléchir aux chiffres.
They should add a companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their ranks. I imagine it applies to their code, the one Mother set up with the pilgrims. What's this? A group of pilgrims who Paul was talking to, and now John is telling them prophecies? On the second day, the pilgrims will listen to the prophecy of the young apostle. They shall add one companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean?
12-14 du coup. 12-14. C'est qui lui qu'on a dit? Saint-Jean. Saint-Jean 12-14. Jean 12-14, y'a? Non. Et là, il y a Jean. Mais il n'y a pas 12-14. Putain. On fait pareil, 12-14. Il y a un 12-14 quelque part.
Follow peace with all men and holiness, without which no man shall see the Lord.
Oh bah, merde. Merde. Caché derrière le plus jeune apôtre. Derrière le plus jeune apôtre, on a dit que du coup il y avait... Au deuxième jour, les pèlerins écoutèrent la prophétie du jeune apôtre.
They shall add one companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean?
Ah, Romain. Paul, il avait parlé aux Romains. Donc Jean, il a dû parler aux Romains aussi. Il n'y a pas les Romains, là.
But
Non.
he that hateth
Je veux fake
is
it.
in darkness, and walketh in darkness, and knoweth.
Un à sa droite et 3 à sa gauche. Non, inversement. 1 à sa gauche, 3 à sa droite. Du coup, comme c'était 11-11, c'est pas 12-14. On vient de voir que c'est pas 12-14. 1 à droite, 3 à 0, ça fait 30.
I and my father are one.
D'accord, ok.
And as they did eat, Jesus took bread and blessed it and broke it and gave it to them and said, "Take, eat. This is my body."
D'ailleurs, le plus jeune apôtre. Ça serait.
I guess I'll just come back later.
Non, d'accord, c'est bien le plus jeune, hein. C'est pas lui, hein. Ou qu'un agent.
There's nothing worth noticing here. It's too cumbersome for me to unhook here, but judging by the dust, it hasn't been moved for months, if not years.
Ok.
No, nothing of value here. Little characters are engraved on the chest of drawers under the urn. The sentence in Hebrew. It says, "Count in the dust." All right, let's do it.
Compter dans la poussière. Qui quoi?
There are finger marks, deliberately drawn in the dust. 8 in all. That's what the message in Hebrew spoke about. Hebrew 8.
Hébreu 8. Hébreu 8. Hébreu 8. Vous avez 2 8, bien sûr.
But that which beareth thorns and briars is rejected, and is nigh unto cursing, whose end is to be burned. Here's a message. There are some complications. Indeed, the Prussian is insistent. What's happening at your end? Do you need help? If tonight is not possible, let's see tomorrow evening, in the South Room, where we reviewed the situation. When Paul understood that only the axe counted, he went back on his tracks. I await your confirmation to his left, in the company of the pilgrims that have joined him. Yeah, this last comment is about their code. I should find new pilgrims near Paul.
Lucien est pressant. Mais c'est pas l'autre là? Comment il s'appelle? Oui? Il est pas prussien? Si? Il était pas encore arrivé pourtant. J'attends votre confirmation à sa gauche en compagnie des pèlerins qui sont ajoutés à lui. Paul? À sa gauche, à Paul?
St. Paul on the road to Damascus by Caravaggio. This painting has been hanging here for a long time. A lot of dust is built up on it. Well, a finger has drawn a number in the thin layer of dust. I can read the number 4.
4.
St. Paul on the road to Damascus by Caravaggio.
Damas.
Caravaggio attained a magnificent command of black and the play of colors too.
Paul facing an ordeal, the curtains of his illusions being raised, and receives the light from his Savior.
Saint Paul 4.
Because we look not at the things that are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal.
Non.
Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report. In him God has chosen us before the foundation of the world, that we may be holy and blameless before him. This I say therefore, and test in the vanity of not in the lustful desire.
Voilà. Lorsque Paul a compris que seuls les actes, Paul,
I guess I'll just come back later.
les autres apôtres qui sont joints à lui, il y avait chiffre 4 là-bas.
There's something else behind this painting. It says, half of each group will join the first city of Corinth. What the hell does that mean? There's something. It says, half of each group will join the first city of Corinth. What the hell does that mean?
De Corinthe. Les Corinthiens. La moitié de Corinthiens. La moitié du premier groupe. Mais de quel premier groupe? Trois et 4.
How shall not the ministration? Now, therefore, why do you... Ah, look. Here's a message. It is of paramount importance that no one finds it. Watch out for the Prussian. He's on the trail. Let's meet up. I'll leave it to you to organize the rendezvous. Not today. I'm unable to do it. In the meantime, I'll follow the first group to Mark, who will reveal the answer to them. And that first group of pilgrims, how many are there now? If I refer to the chapter I'm reading at the moment, 6.
Attends, mais je trouve des trucs dans le désordre, je suis perdu là. J'ai trouvé des trucs dans le désordre, je suis perdu là. Attends, ça venait avant ce que j'ai trouvé avant. Oh là, voilà. Voilà, attendez. Je suivrai le premier groupe jusqu'à Marc qui leur révélera la réponse. Du coup, on est chapitre 6, verset 8. Donc on était resté sur le 6. Ok. Il est revenu sur ses pas. J'attends votre confirmation à sa gauche en compagnie des pèlerins qui se sont ajoutés à lui. Il y a le chiffre 8. On est revenu sur nos pas. Donc on revient à 6 et 7 du coup. Donc 6 plus 8, ça fait 14 et 7. Il y a un truc 14 et 7.
For it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah, of which
Ouais, 14 et 6 du coup.
stand therefore, having For we know that the law is spiritual, but
C'est pas simple cette énigme. Moi.
and the woman was given to where she hey, a new note. It's been folded carefully in the corner of this page. The writing it's not my mother's. S. I found the book in your effects. I've concealed it where no one can get their hands on it. I can assure you, awaiting your instructions, I will hear your reply like he who hears the angel. Hears the angel? What does that mean? Oh,
Mais du coup c'est un truc encore avant.
the place where she was expected.
Mais c'est le truc que j'ai trouvé là à côté. Du coup. Oh là là. Ouais, du coup logiquement c'est ajouté. Oui, du coup c'est. D'accord. Mais en fait, à la première fois, elle a dit récupérer le livre, il faut le cacher. Elle lui a répondu c'est bon, je l'ai fait. J'attends votre réponse. L'autre, du coup, ma mère lui a répondu les primaires qu'on ne le retrouve pas, méfiez-vous du Prussien, il est sur sa piste. Retrouvons-nous, je vous laisse fixer le rendez-vous, pas aujourd'hui, cela me sera impossible. En attendant, je suivrai le premier groupe jusqu'à Marc qui leur révélera la réponse. Hop, on est passé à Marc. Emma a répondu il y a eu des complications, effectivement, le Prussien est pressant, que se passe-t-il de votre côté? Avez-vous besoin d'aide ce soir est impossible, disons demain soir, dans la chambre sud où nous avons fait le point. Lorsque Paul a compris que seuls les actes comptaient, il est revenu sur ses pas. Dans sa conversation à sa gauche, en compagnie des pèlerins qui sont ajoutés à lui. Non mais j'ai tout examiné là, non?
Several portraits of apostles, all signed. Looks like someone touched this. Dante's Paradise. Raise your head and be reassured, for what comes up here from the mortal world must ripen in our rays. St. Paul on the road to Damascus by Caravaggio. This painting has been hanging here for a long time. The finger is, I can read the number
4. Dix et 7. 10 et 8.
and he
10
became
et
hungry
8.
and would have eaten, but while they were made ready,
Ah bah j'ai tout, ouais. 10 et 8. Ça fait demi-tour et on rajoute le chiffre quand même.
He fell into a trance. Hey, there's a note here. A message from Mother in reply to E. We must leave urgently, but first I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare. Watch out for Volner. He figured out I was avoiding him. Allay suspicion. See you tomorrow evening. Stand ready. For now, let's cease all communication until we meet. Take care of yourself. I suppose this must be the last message. What happened afterward? If it's what I suspect, I fear the worst. What did Mother mean by, I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare? I must go beyond the nightmare. What does she mean by that?
Ah, du coup, le Prussien, c'était lui l'acheteur, du coup.
I'm guessing it's a metaphor. I need to figure out what this means. Mortimer's getting his guests together. I ought to join them so I don't look suspicious.
Le cauchemar, c'est quoi? C'est encore le nom d'un tableau? C'est encore être le nom d'un tableau, non? Je n'ai pas compris le message de ma mère au sujet du cauchemar. Ah bah non. Pas compris, non. J'aurais pu fouiller le bureau de Laure Mortier, ouais, mais je l'ai pas fait. Parce que, je me suis dit, merde, ouais, si je veux un pécho, j'aurais bien l'air con. Alors. Pouvoir prendre 3 bouquins. Donc ça va partir sur... l'étiquette. Diversion. Conviction. Logique. Et diversion. Apprenti.
Oh. It's time I went back and joined everyone in the small salon.
Bon.
Emily, I must speak to you.
What's the matter, Louis?
I have news about your sister.
What have you found out?
Look, I've started piecing together the events leading up to my mother's disappearance and your sister's. Did my mother know about your secret?
Yes, even though I belong to the English chapter, her rank in the Order gives her access to a good deal of personal information.
It must have been Emma I saw in my vision. I was given to understand that my mother and your sister bonded during their stay.
Attends, mais... Je peux lui dire, allez demander à l'autre, à Sir Holmes, il sait où est ta sœur, vu qu'il l'a vu se faire tirer dessus, ou non, je sais pas trop. La manipulation... Pas vraiment de... On s'en fout, la manipulation. Ne pas la mettre sur la piste de ma mère. Aller au-delà du cauchemar. Est-ce que je peux lui demander? Est-ce qu'elle va savoir? Pourquoi je la mettrai sur la voie de ma mère?
I'm listening.
If I said go beyond the nightmare, would that ring any bells?
No, means nothing to me. Do you mean literally or figuratively speaking?
It might be a place, I don't know where, but it's a lead.
You ought to ask His Eminence. He knows the house and its estate very well, being a frequent visitor here.
Thanks for the advice.
Should I speak to her about my vision? If what I saw is true, she might want to take revenge.
Non, pour le moment, on sait pas trop. On va se calmer.
I better keep that to myself for the time being.
On va se calmer, on va se calmer. Je gagne quoi? Un point en diversion. On va se calmer, on sait pas encore. On sait pas si elle lui a tiré dessus ou pas en fait.
Come, Louis. They're waiting for us.
De quoi le truc crie encore?
I'm sure you were involved somewhere along the line. That's right. Pretend you don't know. One piece of advice. Don't travel through France on your way back, or it'll cost you dearly.
Calm now, my friends. Let's calm down.
Qui lui encore? C'est le nouveau?
Unnecessarily heated. Don't forget where you are, please.
What's going on here exactly?
Sir Gregory called us together to introduce the last guest. But hardly had we arrived when he set upon Monsieur Perrault.
Qui est-ce?
And who is this charming character?
Manuel Godoy, the Duke of La Alcudia. He's the head of the Spanish government, Monsieur de Richet. He's the one who, in practice, controls Spain.
How could you dare do such a thing? Dios mío, you are all out of your minds.
Really, Duke Manuel? What made you kick up such a fuss?
What? Have you not heard? Well, let me inform you that yesterday morning at 10:22 a.m. precisely, in the middle of the Place de la Révolution in Paris, by decree of the National Convention which Monsieur Perrault works for, King Louis was guillotined. What?
Oh, no.
The King of France is dead, gentlemen. Our monarchies are in danger. I have said it before. How dare they?
Oh dear. Oh, as if
Ah, Mortimer, il doit être au courant. Un truc comme ça, il est sûr, il est au courant, Mortimer.
Friends, let us call.
Ah, c'est sûr et
Don't
certain.
pretend to be surprised. He got a fair trial. Ridiculous. Bastard. He was
Cabron!
sentenced to
Il a dit cabron!
361 votes to 360. You beheaded a king for one vote. Is that your democracy?
What an obnoxious act. Until this, anything was possible. This political coup will have grave consequences.
France is lost.
Gentlemen,
Depuis
please.
longtemps.
Let us take a step back a moment.
In the name
Mais
of holiness,
on était là!
he is the representative of God in France.
On est les premiers à l'avoir fait. Tout. Calmez le jeu.
Gentlemen, Duchess, we're all among people of reputable company here. We should be able to manage the conflicts of our nations in a respectful and orderly manner.
I fully agree with you, sir.
But
That's enough, sir.
with whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
Louis Maras de Richet.
Are you related to Sarah de Richet?
Yes.
Sarah is his mother, Duke. Gentlemen, this news affects us all, but I must ask you to remain calm. It's not the first time history has taken us by surprise. Let's ensure that our respective countries are allowed to respond appropriately to this news.
Oh, rest assured, the response will not fall short, my friend.
Good for you. Well, Your Grace, here I was preparing to introduce you as is
Vous allez rien faire.
and you've beaten
Vous allez laisser
delighted
un empereur prendre la place,
together at last.
conquérir
Our meeting
3/4 de l'Europe.
will be able to kick off shortly. I have just a few more little preparations to take care of.
Et il prendra pas le monde parce que les Anglais, bon voilà, les Anglais quoi.
In the meantime, I shall leave you to get to know one another. When you hear the bell, please proceed to the conclave room on my left, behind that door. I'll see you later.
Ok, pas de soucis. À tout à l'heure, Mortimer. Alors, vous inquiétez pas, on a l'impression que ça lag. C'est pas une baisse de FPS, hein, c'est le jeu. Je suis à 60 FPS, donc c'est vraiment, c'est pas moi, quoi. Et le dernier personnage, Manuel Godoy. Secrétaire d'État, chef du gouvernement espagnol, favori du roi Charles IV d'Espagne, Godoy gravit rapidement les échelons de la politique. Amant de la reine Marie-Louise Bourbon de Parme, il attira sur lui les jalousies des princes d'Espagne. En tant que secrétaire d'État, il développa et renforça l'empire colonial espagnol, notamment aux Amériques. Il œuvra pour la libération de Louis XVI, dont il était très proche, mais en vain. Ceci attisa son ressentiment contre le gouvernement républicain français. T'inquiète, mec, dans dans même pas de 10 ans, ton pays sous le joug français. Allez. Un été par Sir Gregory Holmes, Godoy se présente chez Mortimer avec la ferme intention de calmer les volontés d'expansion des États-Unis d'Amérique sur leur continent. Ah bah oui, c'était l'époque où l'Amérique voulait aller à l'ouest.
I'm glad you asked. I want to talk to you too. Of course.
Seule chance. Attends, c'est ce que je fais. Attends, il est vulnérable à la diversion. Et je suppose qu'il est imprenable au cultisme, à l'occultisme, vu que c'est le ministre des cultes.
He looks concerned. I don't know why, but I doubt it's from sympathy alone. Well, let's see what he wants from me.
Any news of her? Have you found her, maybe?
Diversion, boum.
To hear you speak, you seem to know my mother well.
Not really. We met for the first time on this very spot some weeks back. We had a very pleasant discussion. She's an exceptionally learned lady with a good head for business.
J'ai 4 trucs à faire. J'ai une chance.
I agree.
Did she tell you about our arrangement?
The cat's out of the bag now. More or less, but please do refresh my memory.
Yes, of course. Nothing of great importance in itself. During one of our discussions, she spoke of an old book which might have been of interest to me, and she had agreed to let me have it.
A book about what?
Ancient occultism. As you are aware, I am a doctor of theology. You might have come across some old books in her belongings, perhaps?
Psychologie, manipulation. Parler du mystérieux Cosmo.
The least one can say is that he doesn't beat around the bush. Sarah never travels without a few books. What does the one you're looking for look like exactly?
It resembles a grimoire. It's divided into 7 parts, each one individually locked. It was made in such a way that if someone tried to tamper with it, the sheets would be permanently tarnished. It's a unique copy. There's only one.
The mere mention of it makes his face light up. Well, I'll take a closer look, but I can't promise you anything. You seem very upset. Is it so important to you, this book?
Well, it's the search of a lifetime.
Vite, vite, s'il te plaît. Encore 10 secondes là, vite.
Every time I move closer to it, I was very surprised. I thought it was with us. Do you know him?
Conviction, absolument pas.
I've never heard of him. I'm sorry. I haven't been much help to you.
Well, too bad.
I hope I've been able to satisfy your curiosity, Mr. von Wollner, and that you succeed in finding what you're looking for.
Oh, and so do I.
And now, what if you told me who you really are working for, instead of keeping up this pretense?
I beg your pardon?
We both know what you're looking for, von Wollner. You're the one who von Burchert was planning to sell it to.
For centuries, all those who have come into contact with the Al-Azif have bitterly regretted it, Monsieur de Richet. You are playing a dangerous game. Please know that I am working for someone who does not appreciate anyone poking around in his business.
Let me guess.
Trop simple, hein. Le roi de Prusse serait trop simple de dire tu travailles pour le roi de Prusse. Holmes, c'est un sous-fifre. Holmes, c'est un putain de sous-fifre. J'ai presque envie j'ai presque envie de dire Mortimer parce que Mortimer c'est le genre être au-dessus des rois. Et je sais que c'est le ministre des cultures en Prusse donc et c'est un ami du coup du roi Prusse. Et Mortimer Mortimer ça va être le mec qui passe au-dessus des rois.
Lord Mortimer.
Oh, you are way off the mark. There's nothing more for us to say. Goodbye.
Il travaille vraiment pour son roi. Ok.
Monsieur Bonaparte, may I speak with you a moment?
Mais oui.
Mais oui. Il demande son avis sur Godoy.
What do you think of Duke Godoy?
Well, I'd rather not express any opinion of him.
Why is that?
His reputation is enough for me.
Il est bon. Attends. Ah oui, il faut pas le prendre à la conviction et à la politique, c'est ça. Est-ce qu'il est bon? En diversion ou en interrogatoire? Interrogatoire?
Meaning?
This gentleman enjoys people talking about him for too many reasons. He's undeserved titles, more than 10 in just 4 years, and each one more prestigious than the one before.
You don't think he deserves them?
If I had seen him on the battlefield, there might be some doubt. But that is not the case.
Ah oui, d'accord.
The Queen would rather not risk losing him, so she consoles him with awards and titles.
So you don't have a very positive opinion?
His coveting French Catalonia does not encourage me to have one.
I understand your point of view.
Le cauchemar, on se ferait pas savoir. M'en dire plus sur la coloc à
Do you
venir.
have any more information about the conference Lord Mortimer spoke of?
Nothing at all. Mortimer is very committed to secrecy when it comes to his conferences. But given the presence of Monsieur Peru and ourselves, I think it must concern France to some extent. Otherwise, I doubt he would have invited 3 Frenchmen to his table, hein?
Ouais. Comme on est entre français, on pourrait juste parler français. Hein? Pardon? Le doubleur de Louis n'est pas français? Ah mince, dommage.
Well, I'll be leaving you now. Shall we meet up again later?
Wait, monsieur. Any news of your mother?
Unfortunately not, no.
I hope to speak with her about my deal before I leave. Let me know if you find her. À plus tard, monsieur.
À plus tard.
I have no space left. I'll retrieve it later.
Pour le cauchemar, faut demander à l'autre là. Bonjour. Quelqu'un ici? Non, personne. Bonjour, Washington.
Mr. President, what do you think about your counterpart, Duke Manuel?
I'm very surprised he was able to accept Lord Mortimer's invitation, given the political situation in Spain.
Quel contexte?
What do you mean?
The situation is ready to explode with France over Catalonia.
Well, the Duke must have a darn good reason to be absent and come here, mustn't he?
When Lord Mortimer invites you, Louis, you come. It's always in your best interest.
I wouldn't say that personally, but...
Est-ce qu'il sait un peu plus sur la coloc à venir?
Mr. President, can you tell me a little more about the coming conference?
Of course, Louis. That's why we're here. Lord Mortimer or Sir Gregory regularly organize meetings like this to put forward major projects.
What do you mean by major projects?
I'd prefer to let Lord Mortimer explain that to you, Louis. Let's say he brings together influential people in order to consider possible actions to undertake to guarantee the future of nations.
Do you know the theme of the conference?
Not in the slightest. None of the guests know the theme before arriving. But you'll see, everything will turn out fine. Don't worry.
Ok.
Well, thank you for your time.
Don't mention it.
On part là. Hein. Il est en train de manger lui? Ah.
Ah, Louis. Just the man. Good lord. How did the king come to be executed? I would think that the order would have intervened.
Est-ce que j'ai des infos sur lui? Non. Étiquette, logique. Le roi s'est enfoncé tout seul.
Your Eminence, I'm sorry for King Louis, but he did everything to put himself there.
Bon bah voilà. Bon, au moins on a découvert une immunité hein, face à Piaggi. Il est immunisé à la logique.
Louis, how can you say such a thing? Even if France rejects the church, you don't go and behead a person of high status. They always serve our cause better alive than dead. Politically, it's absurd.
I invite you to speak about it with my mother.
C'est quoi le truc qui me faisait que je prenais pas de... Ah c'est ça. J'ai la conviction et la logique niveau 3.
As soon as she reappears.
Putain de monter en niveau 3. Hein.
Well, I hope it won't be long before I find her, Your Eminence.
Now you wanted to speak to me.
On va aller sur Godoy.
I was wondering what to think of that Manuel Godoy.
He is reputed to be a very ambitious character at every level. But his faith is unwavering. He is a staunch defender of the church. You can believe me.
Parle-moi de ces rumeurs.
As to his faith, I have no doubt. However, his ambition seems to surpass his morality, and I hope that it will not sully the crown.
You can say that again. The blue eyes of the latest Infanta, Maria Isabel, have left everyone wondering.
Rumors always accompany men of power, Your Eminence.
Naturally. But the number of awards and titles granted by the Queen
La pêche la reine.
for years leaves little doubt.
So, Godoy really is this out-and-out rascal who uses his charm on the Queen.
Alors, demandez pour le cauchemar.
If I say the nightmare to you, does it make you think of anything?
Your question is strange, my son. Difficult to say. Could you at least tell me a little more about the context?
Regarde si il résiste à la manipulation. Tu vois.
Think of a place and tell me the first thing that comes into your mind when I say
Ah.
the nightmare.
On peut manipuler lui.
I'd say Lord Mortimer's favorite painting on the wall behind his desk. You know, that painting caused quite a stir when it was exhibited. It is titled The Nightmare, and it shows a woman lying down with a creature sitting on her, and in the background, a horse. I don't know if it will be of any help, but I can't think of anything else.
You never know. Thank you for that, though, Your Eminence. I gotta go and see it just in case, though.
Est-ce qu'il connaît le sujet du colloque?
I'm sure a man like you is in the circle of trust.
Donc, du coup, faut qu'on aille dans le bureau de Mortimer.
Conference
Ok.
that Lord Mortimer mentioned is going to be about?
Not really, my son. Well, be it Lord Mortimer or Sir Gregory, we are never informed about the theme of the conference before it begins.
Thank you for everything, Your Eminence. I shan't take up any more of your time.
You are welcome, my son. I will be seeing you, Louis.
Hop, on va juste passer là récupérer un élixir d'or.
All right. I've retrieved everything.
Oh, tiens, elle est là.
What do you want, Louis?
Je lui ai demandé son avis sur Godoy.
What do you think of our last guest?
Well, I never thought I would get the chance to meet that Hispanic Casanova in the flesh. His reputation is well known. The gentleman collects lovers, including, would you believe it, the Queen of Spain.
Politique.
The Queen of Spain likes to indiscreetly say, the King, Godoy, and myself make up the Holy Trinity. The people have appropriately renamed them the Goat, the Ruffian, and the Whore.
I didn't see you being a mudslinger in your idle hours, I must say.
Est-ce qu'elle sait plus sur le colloque? Je sais parce que non, j'ai l'impression que personne ne sait de quoi va parler le colloque.
What can you tell me about the coming conference?
Sir Gregory and Lord Mortimer organize this kind of high society meeting every so often in order to consider the world situation.
But to what purpose?
Well, by bringing together the most influential people from the dominant nations of the modern world, they allow the mighty to discuss matters with calm clarity. There are precedents of armistices being signed at the end of these talks, you know. Talking while holding a glass of brandy makes things easier. You'll see. You're leaving me?
Unfortunately, I have things to do. Thank you again, madam.
Thank you again, madame. Madame. Ah, je peux peut-être explorer des chambres maintenant, en plus. Ah, mais attends, il y a le bureau de Mortimer là. Attends, on va faire un petit tour, voir si je peux pas explorer des chambres.
Monsieur Johann van Wulner.
Lui, je peux pas, ok. Là, je sais pas où ça mène, mais je peux pas y aller. C'est Washington, fermé. Ici, je peux pas y aller. Ici,
Monseigneur His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi.
je peux pas y aller. Là, c'est chez moi. Je peux même pas aller chez moi.
Huh, that's me.
Si je peux même pas aller chez moi, c'est que...
Duke Manuel Godoy.
Du coup, c'est avec Manuel Godoy que je partage mon balcon, du coup.
Duchess Emily Hillsborough. Monsieur Napoléon Bonaparte.
Napoléon, moi, j'y suis déjà allé.
Monsieur Jacques Perru.
Mais Jacques Perru, je peux pas y aller. Ok. Et on est revenu là. Ok. Hop. On va s'arrêter là. On va s'arrêter devant le bureau de Mortimer. Parce que ça se trouve, on va repartir sur je sais pas combien de temps de Mortimer là. On va s'arrêter là. On continuera plus tard. Mais pas trop. On regarde pas les titres. Regardez pas les titres, je les ai pas lus. On se spoil pas. Des fois, ça peut spoil. On est pas trop mal. On a été plutôt pas mal. Je trouve qu'on n'a pas été si mauvais que ça. Attendez. Je fais un truc. Boum. Non. Ah, attendez, bon, ce qu'on va faire autrement. Boum. Boum. Et boum. Voilà. Salut YouTube, on a disparu. Bon, YouTube, on te fait des bisous. Non, on rigole, on te fait pas de bisous, lol. T'as cru qu'on était ta mère. Juste retourne à l'usine. Va nous chercher des patates pour préparer la prochaine révolution. On te fait des bisous, même si... Non, on te fait toujours pas de bisous. On t'aime bien, même si on préférait te voir en live. En tout cas, abonne-toi, laisse un pouce bleu, laisse la cloche activée, laisse un commentaire, laisse tout là. Laisse ton portefeuille, tout, tu laisses tout. Allez, au revoir YouTube.